Hello and welcome to my homestead. Today is July 14th and I would like to give a quick update mostly on the things that are ripening and growing, changing. As you can see, I'm over by the peach tree. By color, you can see that the peaches are almost ready to be picked. So I will pick them slightly green. Some of them are very ready to be picked. But the biggest reason is right here. Yep, the squirrels have found them. So, before the ants get into the split peaches, and before squirrels pick every single one of them, peaches will have to come down. They're nice, beautiful peaches. They're ready to be picked. Some of the other things that are growing, as you can see here, are the figs. There's lots of them. Every branch. We have a lot of figs here. Some of them are already picked. If you remember, on this branch there used to be ripe ones. Next to them I have a few watermelons growing, but nothing in comparison to the main watermelon patch. You can see they're setting. So, from figs, let's just take a quick look at a couple of lilies. Here we go. You can see the red ones already finished, or the purple ones I should say. They are beautiful, and the white ones just opened up. So there's two of them. Gorgeous. Speaking of expectation of harvest, take a look at the persimmon tree. Talk about being loaded. Every branch has multiple persimmons on it. Every single one is loaded. So out of the orchard, that's about all that we are going to get this year. Unfortunately, as you can see, the fungus, the fire blight had hit my pear trees and they're dying off, so I'm not going to have any pears this year. Sadly, there is nothing I could do about it. The trees have died. But if I focus on something more positive, let's go take a look at my grapes. As we're walking, there's the apple trees. Still producing, beginning to turn some color. And I see that the squirrels got to them too. So let's go take a look at the grapes. Here we are. You can see grapes have been tied up and they've been growing for a while. Some of them are producing quite nicely, but the birds are stripping them and there is no escaping it. I did cover a few of them. I put them in these mesh bags. Hopefully I can save at least a few berries. You can see they're beginning to turn color. So in another month or so they should be ripe, but unfortunately there's too many animals who want them. There are different varieties too. I'm not covering everything. I do want a few to try, but for most part the animals can have them since I don't know what varieties they are. But the biggest one is over there, so let's walk over there. Here we are. These grapes are still surviving. I've covered a few, but you can see they're growing quite nicely. Lots of them. I'm sure the ones on the bottom, raccoons and opossums and rats will get, but hopefully that means I can keep the few ones that I covered up. Alright, let's go and take a look at my watermelon patch. Here we are. So this is my melon patch. You can see the melons have spread rapidly. They are trying to produce, and I'm saying trying because there's too many problems here. But there are watermelons forming. So that's a nice sized watermelon. If it grows without spoiling, that's going to be at least 15 to 20 pounds. There are a few of them, but they're also rotting. And somehow in the mix there's these melons. You can see there are different varieties. The striped ones, the Congo, the Carolina Cross here. These are the larger ones. And unfortunately I do have squash bugs. See? Some nice sizes ones. Over there are a few of the sugar babies, much smaller. So here's the Carolina Cross. There is the small personal-sized sugar babies. Hopefully they will have a chance to ripen. I'm saying hopefully because as you can see, you already can see a few signs of blight setting in. There is some damage. There is nothing I can do to stop it. Last year my watermelons got wiped out and died on the vine. They started spoiling on the vine. Sorry for the noise, but I have really horrible neighbors here. Alright, so From watermelons, let's go and take a look at my main garden and see what's ripening there. So here we are. As you can see, we had a few days of rain, and in that time everything just exploded in growth and it became a jungle, so I have a lot of weeding to do. I have a few beans here and some squashes. These are patty pans. They flat squashes. I have some watermelons. Here is another crimson red. As you can see, they're forming and growing quite nicely. These luckily do not show any signs of disease yet. There are some volunteer tomatoes which I did not plant, but they grew on their own. I have a few sweet peppers. I already picked the early ones. There is a lot of them. This is a very prolific variety. And the regular bell peppers next to them. Now this one is a purple one. And some more yellows over there. My squashes for some reason are not doing too great. For a while they were fighting a lot of bugs, but they never produced anything. You can see there's a lot of growths and nothing is being produced. So these are the zucchinis and not a single zucchini formed. For whatever reason, they do not pollinate. Potatoes are almost done. You can see I've been digging them quite a bit. Have beautiful young potatoes, and these need to come out soon. They're already done, they're laid down, so they're ready to come out. And there were a few tomatoes that my sister gave me that she had leftover seedlings, so I planted them here. It's a little late, but these are the dwarf varieties, and hopefully they will grow and catch up. We still have a few months of warm weather left. Since I'm in zones 8B, sorry, 7B, we don't get frost until end of October. But in the meantime, you can see my garlic bed has been pulled out. You saw my previous video when we dug it up. I do have some volunteer tomatoes here. Again, I did not plant these. These are growing on their own, mostly cherry, black cherry tomatoes. But what I did plant on my own are the beans. The inside are the bush beans, and you can see some of the beans are starting to climb here. My first 2 tries to plant them were unsuccessful. They kept dying. I don't know why. But you can see even the ones that are trying to climb, they're already sick, and I have no idea why. For whatever reason, this year is horrible for beans. But I keep trying. And again, there are a few squashes here. There are some summer squash and some patty pans in here. In the meantime, I also planted some lavender here. This area used to have carrots and garlic. I pulled out the garlic and carrots, and unfortunately I noticed that there is a lot of nematodes and a lot of blight. The soil is very hard and compacted. It's what we call hard pan. A lot of clay and gravel compacted together with sand. It's not an easy soil to work with. It just becomes so dense, so nothing grows. So I put some lavender in here, and we'll have a lavender patch in here. And of course, the other patch where my carrots used to be, has become a wild jungle. I used to have also some of the melons in here. Unfortunately, they all died, and I have no idea why. So one thing I do like are these raised beds where I have my passion fruit. As you can see, it's very green and climbing. It's not producing anything, and I don't think it's going to produce anything this year. It has been traumatized too much over the past winter. But next to it, I do have some nice cherry tomatoes, and these tomatoes are doing okay. They are all split from too much rain, as you can see. We had almost 8 inches of rain come down in less than 30 hours. So everything was flooded for a while. Bananas are the only ones that are happy. They love rain. So here we have my pots with citruses. Pomelos are doing quite well. In fact, I need to prop them with something, otherwise they're going to break the branches. They were very, very dry, and they're just now beginning to recover from the drought. You can see so much damage. And of course, figs next to them. One of the things that made me happy are my lemons. They're still producing. This is the regular lemon, and I have the variegated, finally set fruit this year for the first time. It's supposed to be pink inside. So it's doing quite well, and has more buds, more flower buds. And of course my Meyer lemon also doing well. As you notice, I have a few of the beans in here as well, mostly just to provide some nitrogen. Alright, so in raised beds, unfortunately I have lost all of my cabbages. As you can see, there is almost nothing left. So we took all of the cabbages out. I lost a war on the parasites, on the worms. But we put some of the sweet potatoes in, so hopefully I will have some sweet potatoes at the end of the summer, well, at the end of the year. This jungle needs to be dealt with. I haven't gotten to it yet. As you can see, the peas have fanned, but the tomatoes are still producing like crazy. We are in peak production season. And I mean really producing like crazy. So many tomatoes here. Again, splitting from there's too much rain. There is nothing I could do about that. So I need to clean this up and pull out some of the diseased ones. There is some blight. But as you can see, different varieties. The little ones are the sun golds. There is the zebras. And the 4th of July. These are all salad tomatoes, so medium size. A lot of work to do. Here I also have a couple of beans just to see whether or not they will grow here, and some lisianthuses that are finally growing and getting ready to bloom. I can't wait for them to do that. You can see the salads have bolted lettuces, so I'm letting them go into seed and hopefully have some more lettuces. Another patch that I need to clean out. All of these are done blooming, so I need to pull them out and collect all of the seeds. This is what I need to spread the seeds. And unfortunately, it's another war here. Too many squash bugs, so losing the battle again. These are my cucumbers. But speaking of cucumbers, let's go and take a look at the one over by the house. So before we go, the blackberries have been producing also heavily. You can see I've been picking them, but every day I'm getting new ones that are turning. So lots of production. They're beautiful. Very sweet. Here we are, my cucumbers by the house. These are the most productive ones this year so far. Beautiful Japanese cucumbers. They start off really wrinkly and lots of these almost like spikes. And then they even out and become flat skin or smooth skin next to them. And to wrap it up, this is my other Lysianthus patch in the raised bed. They're gorgeous. There are a few more things that are still growing here, and that is in the rose bushes here in the raised bed. I do have some eggplant. It's setting. Now this little rascal does not belong here. She knows better. That's the mama bunny. Her baby just ran off in that direction. Alright, let's go take a look at another eggplants. So we're back with the citruses and my tropicals. But among them I have a couple of peppers. These are the jalapeno peppers. And I do have eggplants. So they're blooming and getting ready to produce. They're a little behind, but they were planted way late. So there's one last look at what I have here. Some of my potted plants, like these lesser peppers. They overwinter quite well. We already have been picking them for a while. These are my mangoes. They're not doing too great. And one last look at my tomatoes. Still lots of green tomatoes to come. And hopefully some of the melons will make it. So thank you for joining me, and until next time.